Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. Today we have some hypotheticals. We're going to talk through some actual maybe potentials of buying some more stocks and what these stocks could pay you if you were to scale them up, and how I am planning on making $10,000 a month through these three stocks alone if I were to consolidate some accounts, move some money around, and maybe start transferring in heavily into this account. So let's jump into it. Let's look at it. Let's look at the three stocks we're looking at. And those are going to be BITO, QDTE, XDTE. And we're just looking at the total return here, right? And then we'll jump into the stocks. We'll jump into the spreadsheet that I made. And let's take a look at it. First things first, though, if this video gets 200 likes, I will put $2,500 into these three stocks this week out of my own checking account to boost our dividend income. If it doesn't, no worries, but I thought I'd throw the challenge out there. Easy to hit the like button. So if you do, I'll show proof. I'll put another $2,500 into these three funds this week. So let's jump into it. First things first, BITO. We're just looking at the 6-month return here. If we go to the year to date, the XDT and the QDT have not been around for a full year. So it doesn't give us the entire picture. But if we look at the 6 months, it almost is a full 6 months on the QDT and XDT. So let's take a look at it. So BITO, total return of 10.06, QDTE 7.23, XDT 9.29, and then QQQ, which QDT writes options on, is 10.65. So pretty cool to see that the total return of QDT is pretty close there to QQQ. It pays massive weekly dividends. As you know from this, lately we've been putting a bunch of money into it. We put $2,500 to start, and then we've just slowly been scaling it up. We have drip on QDT and XDT, and we are taking these to the moon. So let's take a look at it. Let's look at my position, and then we will look at the spreadsheet. Obviously, this is my dividend-only account. I post videos on this every single week to grow our monthly and weekly income. We're about $600 to $700 is what we should break this month, so not too bad. I think we are just sitting just over 700. So we keep scaling this up. We have $5,000 worth of buying power, but I wanted to talk about these three because I'm heavily thinking about consolidating a bunch of my positions and putting more money into BITO, XDT, and QDT. You can see as of right now, I have $5,300 into BITO. I have $3,100 worth of XDTE, and I have $3,100 worth of QDT. I've been scaling XDT and QDT together, but so far so good. The weekly dividends are really fun on drip, so it's been fun to watch that. And let's jump into the nitty gritty. Let's take a look first and foremost of just how much I'm getting in dividends. You can see here from Friday, $35. I think we're 3 weeks in now to this fund, so let's just take a look at that. I just want to show you the kind of dividends we're getting. Okay, so we've gotten 2 so far. This 9th one has not shown up yet. It will be reinvested on Monday. So you can see we've received $32 the first week, $30 the second week, and the third week we are sitting at $35. So not too bad. We've made almost $100 worth of dividends in the 3 weeks we've owned it. So really good dividend payer, and the drip is crazy on the weekly basis. So those are the shares. We can punch in my numbers first, and then we can look at the $10,000 because that is the goal. How do we make $10,000 a month between these three funds? And it's super simple. We have QDT, XDT, and BITO. What I did is I took the current share price there at the top. The monthly dividends for these weekly dividend payers, I took the sum of all the last 4 payments, right? So for QDT, it's been really high because the market has been super volatile and the IV has been really high. So $1.91 on QDT, XDT $1.39, and then BITO $1.45. And we got that just purely from BITO, right? So you saw on my last payment, and this, I have 276 shares now. We've really ratcheted this up, but I had way less shares before, but you can see here $1.45 is what we were paid when we had 100 shares. That paid us $146. So if we get a similar payment for next month, I should be close to that $300 or $400 mark just on BITO alone. So that one's a beast. And so what I did is I kind of wanted to see, all right, if I put an equal-ish amount of capital into each individual one, where are we looking at, right? So capital on QDTE to buy 1,550 shares would take $66,000. On XDTE, it would take $72,000 for 1,400 shares. And BITO for $70,000, you get 3,600 shares. Now let's look at the income. This is the crazy part, right? Monthly income from that alone would make you over $10,000. So $10,126.50. Again, all things equal from the dividends that we just were recently paid. I'm going off the most recent data so that this is the most up to date for you. Obviously, you could change those numbers if you need to, but monthly income $10,000. Capital required. This is how much money it would take in your account to make $10,000. $209,000. So just under $210,000. And if you wanted to turn drip off and just solely let this pay you each and every single month, it would take just over 20 months to get all of your money back, which is kind of insane to think about. Obviously, things could change in the market. Ivy could go up, Ivy could go down. The stock price could go up, it could go down. I'm not saying that it's not going to move on your initial investment side of things, but pretty cool to think that in less than 2 years, you could potentially get all of your money back, right? And this is about as passive as it gets when it comes to owning a stock. You literally just click the buy button, and you saw just on QDT alone, I'm getting paid every single Friday like a paycheck, like I'm checking into a boss and going to 9 to 5. I'm not doing any of that. I just buy the shares and let those suckers ride, and they pay me every single week. So pretty cool. So those are the numbers there. Let's run the numbers just purely off of what I have in here, just so you can see a real look of just my shares alone. On QDTE, we should have what, 61? I think we had. Or that's XDT. Let me just double check this real quick. We'll grab it straight off here, right? So BITO 276 and 61 XDT and 73 on QDT. So 73 here, 61. Oops. Sometimes on an iPad, it's not too great. All right, so 61 there. And then if we were go to BITO, we had 276 shares there. Boom. So this is me. This is right now. This is our current position. Right now, our payout on a monthly basis on QDTE would be $139. XDTE $84. BITO $400 a month, which is about what we were saying, with $3,100 in each one of the DTEs, and then $5,300 into BITO. And look at that. Just from these three funds alone, as of right now, just me, I make $624.42 doing absolutely nothing, right? If we were to take that, let's see, if we take that and we do 624 divided by 4, that's $156 a week. These three assets will pay me. And my return on capital would be just over a year, right? So about a year and a half, 18, so 19 months is what it would take to return my full capital. As you know, as of right now, I am heavily going to be scaling it up. I'll probably make another video this next week on some funds that I'm going to be consolidating more, because you probably guessed it, I'm going to be adding more to these QDT and XDT, especially if we get the likes to 200, then I'm adding 2,500. So this is where I'm sitting at right now. If you say, wow, that's like, there's no way we're doing that, right? So let's just get these all to my goal, right? My goal was 100 in XDT and QDT, and then I want to get to 300 in BITO. This is my goal by the end of the year. Obviously, that could change. Obviously, we could put way more into it, but if we were to do that, we're sitting at $765 a month in just these three assets. Take about $15,000 worth of my capital into those three assets, and my return would be just over, basically straight at 20 months. So that's where we're sitting at there. And this is something everybody could do. I mean, $15,000, obviously it's a lot, but you got to remember the drip on this would go absolutely crazy, right? And we've seen that before. We've looked at the drip before, especially on like QDTE. I mean, if we were to take the share count, and like we said, the 100, we do 100 shares of XDT and 100 shares. And we talked about this a little bit in the last video, but if we do 100 shares here, I mean, this is the kind of numbers we're looking at, right? $3,300 worth of annual income, monthly income $277, weekly income $64, shares on drip 77.5, and the share count would be at the end of year 177. And this gets crazy, right? Our annual income can go from $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 to $18,000 to $33,000. Things can get crazy. So that's the power of what we're doing. Again, the 2,500, or I mean, if we were to take let's just say $2,000 of each of these, right? So we have 2,000 shares of each and every single one of these. What are we sitting at? I love running these numbers. I love seeing, if we were to do that, we're talking about $9,500 worth of income. So if you want to make it easy and you say, all right, my goal is to put 2,000 shares into these 3 funds, this is the kind of payday you're looking at. $9,500 a month, $229,000 worth of capital, monthly return of 24.11. There's a lot of ways to do it. Obviously, you could shell out all the cash, you could buy the funds, and then you just let these suckers pay you back in 24 months, which is a 2-year return. Not too bad. Or you could put these suckers on drip, kind of like we just looked about, or we looked about in some of my other videos, and you let those shares buy more shares each and every single month, and you slowly build that dividend snowball up. So this is the plan I have on the account. I'm going to continue to grow these funds. I'm going to do some consolidations, and we are really trying to get to $1,000 a month in my dividend income account. Again, that is this account. We started this from 0 just over about a year ago. And we're going to grow this sucker all the way to $1,000 a month in pure passive dividend income. And we do it every single week here live. So if you like the video, don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment. What stocks you think I should be buying, as always. But don't forget, if we drop 200 likes in this video, I will buy $2,500 worth of these 3 stocks this week. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. Happy investing, and we'll catch you next time.